Welcome to Deer Ridge Maple in Derby Center, correct?
Yes.
We're in Derby Center?
Yep.
This is Jaret Judd. He and his wife Jessica own Deer Ridge Maple. We're up in their woods looking at their tubing system. We'd like to point out specifically that Jaret and Jessica are a very high production woods on 3/4 inch main line. Their main lines are fairly close together. You can see 3 of them going up this little hill, and their 5/16 tubing lines are real short. How's the maintenance on this?
Very easy. Very easy. We try wherever we can. We've got at least an ATV trail that we can ride down, because if you can ride there, you're going to check it more often. So it's very easy to maintain. Ball valves everywhere, so we can isolate things very quickly. 10-15 minutes, I can isolate 1,000 taps to tell you where the leak is.
High vacuum is where it's at, and we'll see some high vacuum equipment when we get down to the sugar house. One of the things Jaret and Jessica have done is they've gone to a dead end T at the end of all their main lines. So this green T is made, if you're going clockwise around the tree, you would use a green T. We have red ones if you want to go counterclockwise. What it does is the loop around the tree has no vacuum on it. Typically, woodpeckers chew here, or drill here, squirrels chew here, mice chew here, and it becomes a vacuum leak all the time. With this kind of a setup, if the loop around the tree becomes a vacuum, gets chewed, it's not a vacuum leak. There's only vacuum from here down through here. So here's a typical entrance, a loop entrance, where your 5/16 line main, or 5/16 tubing line is coming into the main line. What I want to show you is this meniscus right here. See how it's not moving very much? It moves slowly. Okay, we follow the next one. What that means is this is a perfect tubing line. There are no vacuum leaks in this tubing line. What you're seeing is sap flow and gases that the trees are producing naturally. So if you see this in your vacuum system, you don't have to go look at this tubing line. It's perfect. So here at Deer Ridge Maple, they use a high efficiency oilless vacuum pump on a VFD. Here at the releaser, we're pulling 26.5 inches. One of the things to look at for those of you who want to go to high vacuum is the way that liquid is coming into the releaser. You notice it's a nice gentle stream coming in, it's not spurting, there's not a lot of air coming in with it. That's a very good sign that your woods is tight. If you have one of those lines that all of a sudden starts spurting and splashing, you know you've got a vacuum leak on that line. So you can start your vacuum leak detection right here with your releaser. Something about RO technology, which is a very common bit of misinformation. People feel that ROs change the syrup. They don't. The RO does not chemically change the syrup at all. What we're doing with the RO is we're getting rid of water, making ourselves more efficient in the boiling process. It still makes the highest quality syrup, and Jaret and Jessica spend a lot of time here in this kitchen making very high quality candy out of their syrup. This is Jessica's candy supply right over here. The cream machine is stored down there, the candy machine is here. This is an important part of their personal business. The Extreme HP1 RO is one of the fastest ROs on the market today for one membrane machine. It's capable. Jaret will put, this year he's been putting about 1.7% into the RO and coming out at about 12% to boil. That's a huge efficiency savings and lowers Jaret's carbon footprint considerably because he's not burning as much wood in his arch to make the syrup that he makes. So here at Leader Evaporator, we build ROs for the smallest of producers up to the biggest of producers, and there's a lot of questions, a lot of people ask the question, at what point in time should I consider buying an RO? Literally, if you have 300 taps on some sort of vacuum system, we have an RO that will fit your needs. And what the difference the RO makes, the biggest biggest benefit for a small producer is simply doubling your sugar content. If you take a small RO and you can double your sugar content, that means you spend less than half the time boiling that liquid and burn less than half the wood, just in that one quick pass. If you can go a little higher than that, you become more and more efficient. So literally from 300 taps up, you can run an RO. So here at Deer Ridge Maple, Jaret and Jessica have a Vortex Arch. They have cross-flow syrup pans, a max combination flue pan, and a steam away with steam hoods on both units to keep steam out of the sugar house. They have an automatic draw-off smart draw, and their filter press is right back here. Again, in this sugar house, from the filter press, it goes right into a stainless steel barrel for storage.
Shut off.
So now the HP1 RO is running. It's actually in a de-sugar process, which is basically the same as your concentration. You can see the operating pressure is up a little over 500 pounds, or 400 pounds, I guess that is. Feed pump pressure is about 80. Flow rates right here, 2 gallons a minute on concentrate, and almost 9 gallons on permeate. And over in the expansion kit, this is again about, well, I don't have my glasses, but it's about 9 gallons, I think. Adjusting these ROs to your desired flow rate is as simple as this. See the ball go up and down? And testing your sugar concentration coming out of the RO is right here. Very simple. This is your permeate coming out.
That's where they're going to
periodically you want to test that. Make sure you're not passing sugar if you've damaged your membrane. Mostly you'll use this one. So Jaret and Jessica have a steam away on their arch. And remember we talked about, or earlier we talked about the difference between a steam away and a preheater. In the steam away, when you see the pipes that are inside it, those pipes capture all the steam that's produced in the flue pan. And the pipes are surrounded by sap. That actually creates a boiling and boils at a lower temperature than your flue pan and actually gets rid of water. One of the byproducts of the steam away, similar to the preheater, is a lot of 180-degree water comes off. Liquid comes right out of the steam away right here, drops into your regulator box for your flue pan as usual, so that you can control the depth of your flue pan. So right now we're looking through the steam away that's just starting to get hot. You can see condensation dripping from the bottom of the V-trays. Up high here are the V-trays, which are filled with the sap that's warming up, and down low here on a slant is a condensation tray which catches that condensation. It then runs down to a collection point, comes out of the steam away. Okay, Jaret just fired the arch, closed the door, and turned the pans back on. And if you focus on the stack thermometer, you can see the needle rising up to 1,000 degrees. This kind of heat being produced in this arch is how we get the strong, consistent boil and the fast evaporation rates on a Vortex with a max flue pan. Right here, the rig is starting to get a little hot. This is free water. It's both the steam produced by the flue pan and the condensation you saw earlier. And it's coming out right here and going into this sink where Jaret can use it to clean stuff in the future.
So my stack temperature has now come down to 900 degrees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut my high pressure blower off, but I'm not going to shut my low pressure blower off. I'm going to just turn it down so it keeps the fire hot underneath, but not so that it's blowing fire out into your face. And I'm going to fire it here real quick. And what you'll notice is with this unit, while I'm firing, and even after I'm done firing, with the gasification of this, you will see no spark or smoke. You may see a little bit of steam coming out because of the way the wind's blowing today. The roof jacks are allowing the steam to pass right in front of the smokestack. So I have totally fired this now. The next thing that I'll do is I turn my low pressure blower all the way up and put my high pressure blower on, and you'll see that we're back under evaporation. A lot of people want to have something unique in their sugar house, so we actually have a maple tree that is actually running sap in our sugar house. Our one and only bucket that we have. So this year is a little bit different a year. We have a lot of customers that like dark maple syrup. We usually have to buy our dark syrup from other producers to fulfill our orders and make our products with. Majority of the time, these are our barrels of syrup that we've produced this year. Most all of them are always golden delicate. And this year here, we've made majority of them between an amber rich and a dark robust, which is part for the year this year. It's been a very different year. So this is our third evaporator that we got from Leader Evaporator. We started out close to 20 years ago on a conventional arch, moved up to a forced air arch because the conventional just wasn't keeping up with our needs. Then we jumped up to the Vortex to be super efficient, easier on wood consumption. The nice thing with this evaporator is it's gasification, there's no emissions. We're trying to do everything as clean as we can. 90% of everything that we have in our sugar house is either made in the US or right here in Vermont. With Leader Evaporator, their arches, their ROs, all their tubing, everything's made right here in Vermont. Really helps you when you're trying to sell a Vermont maple product with it. We've had very good service with Leader Evaporator. The nice thing with Leader Evaporator is they have it in stock. If you happen to need something, they've got it on their shelves over there. They've always been the go-to place for inventory. They've always had a huge inventory of materials. Most of their evaporators, they always try to keep a conventional size, an extra pan, syrup pan, or they can get it right on because their manufacturing is right in-house. They can get right on it and get it right back to you. So that's the reason we've stuck with them for the years that we have.